Hello everybody, this is Mr. Sanford with your percent composition video notes. So we're going to start off talking today about percent composition, and it is a tool that tells us the amount of a certain component within a substance. And we're going to use a formula to help us figure out percent composition. So it's very straightforward. The part divided by the whole times 100 will give you your percent composition. So information you need to calculate percent composition of a substance. So you're definitely going to need the total mass of a compound. So this is just like finding molar mass of a compound. So you're going to need to use the periodic table, multiply by the masses from the periodic table of each element by the subscripts, and add them up to get a total. That will be your whole part. You also need the number of each type of atom, so the subscripts, to help you get there. And you'll need the mass of each type of atom from the periodic table. All right, so let's do an I-do together. So we're going to calculate the percent composition of tetraphosphorus pentoxide. So we should know tetraphosphorus would be P4 and pentoxide should be O5. So our formula is P4O5. And we're going to take the molar mass of phosphorus from the periodic table, 30.97 grams, and we're going to multiply it by the number of phosphorus atoms, 4. We're also going to take the molar mass of oxygen from the periodic table, 16.00 grams, and we're going to multiply it by the number of oxygen atoms, 5. And then, once we get what those products are, so 123.88 for the phosphorus and 64.00 for the oxygen, we're going to add them together to get the whole mass. So the complete molar mass here, that'll be the bottom part of our formula. So now that we have these values, we can use that to calculate the percent composition for phosphorus and oxygen. Once we get those values, we'll be able to fill in our pie chart as well as a kind of qualitative analysis of these things. So we're going to start with the whole molar mass on the bottom, 187.88 grams, and we're going to do each part. So phosphorus would be 123.88 grams divided by the whole, so the part divided by the whole times 100. That's going to give us 65.94% phosphorus. And we'll have to do the same thing for oxygen. So out of the total mass, the whole mass, 187.88 grams, right? Oxygen was 64 grams. So we're going to divide that into the whole. So the part 64 divided by the whole, 187.88 times 100 gives us 34.06 grams. All right, so these percentages are nice values, but what do they really mean exactly? So if we were to take this entire compound, we could fill in which part of the pie chart matches. So if you take a look at our values, 66 and 34% basically, right? 66% is the larger value, so the larger piece of the pie should be the phosphorus. So we'll use red to indicate that. Oxygen is going to be the smaller value, so the smaller part of the pie chart should match oxygen. We're going to use blue to do that. I'd like you to take a moment right now to hit pause and color in this pie chart on your Flippy with the colored pencils and markers available on your table. Let's do a we do together as well. Let's calculate the percent composition of potassium sulfate. So we'll need the formula there. It comes out to K2SO4, and we're going to calculate eventually the percent composition of each element, potassium, sulfur, and oxygen. So let's start off by getting the total molar mass. So let's work through that. Potassium is 39.10 grams from the periodic table times the 2 atoms of potassium in our formula gives us 78.20 grams. Sulfur, there is only 1, so 32.06 grams. Its molar mass from the periodic table times 1 is the same value. And oxygen, there are 4, so we take its molar mass from the periodic table, 16.00 grams times 4 gives us 64.00 grams. And we want to add all 3 of those values together to get the total molar mass, so that would be the whole part of our percent composition, 174.26 grams. So now we want to figure out the percent composition. So let's work through each one. Potassium, we're going to start off with the part that is potassium, 78.20 grams divided by the whole mass, 174.26 grams times 100 to give us 44.9% potassium. Sulfur, we'll do the part that is sulfur, 32.06 grams divided by the whole mass, 174.26 grams times 100 gives us 18.4% sulfur. And finally, we need to do oxygen as well. So the part that is oxygen, 64 grams, divided by the whole mass, 174.26 grams, times 100 is going to give us 32.7 grams. So if we take a look at each of these values, 44.9, 18.4, and 32.07, we should be able to pick which slice of the pie chart corresponds, right? The largest slice should go to the largest value. So since potassium is almost 45%, we're going to color that in. So we'll choose red for potassium and color it in that section. The smallest section of the pie chart should correspond to the smallest value. Sulfur has the smallest percentage, 18.4%. So sulfur will choose blue and color in the smallest part of the pie chart. And then finally, the middle number, the middle value for oxygen, 32.7, is in between the other two. So it should be like the medium size slice of the pie. So we'll use yellow for that.